Hello and welcome to today's edition of Firefighting Fridays. I'm Jeff Diederich with Strategic Fire Training. Today we're going to do a little year in review for 2022. Talk a little bit about our experiences around the country, helping firefighters with the principles and practices of the job. We've got Jerry Knapp, Jeff Shupe, Chad Gruver, and John Mateer rounding it out. And Jeff, can you get us started here? Out the gate here tonight?
Yeah, I think we'll start off by, first, paying a little respect and so forth to our, I guess you'd say our leader, Bobby Halton, who I believe died unexpectedly or left us unexpectedly on December 20th of 2022. Kind of a shock to a lot of us, when you heard it, I think it was a little bit unbelievable for some people. Some people might have had an inside, idea, about other things that were affecting Bobby and so forth. But, for most people, they always thought Bobby would be there. And when this happened, it was just like total disbelief at first. So anyways, I wanted to have our respects given to him. The man served 18 years as the head of fire engineering and FDIC. I know he was a long time committee member. I think he was on the education committee for fire engineering for a long time. And that was one of his things, is that, if you knew Bob Halton, you knew that his mind was going all the time. Whatever the topic or subject was in the fire service, he was involved with it in some way, shape, or form. And one of the things I can say is that when he was as editor, whenever a hot topic came along, he was not afraid to take a stance, one way or the other. And that's one of the things about a guy like that, you always have to respect, someone who can, take something and make sense out of it and give it to all of us. So again, I'm still kind of finding it hard to believe and hard to say things, that I can give him enough accolades and so forth for what he did for the American Fire Service and so forth. So, Jerry, you want to add a little?
I don't know, I think it's much to add. I mean, Bobby was kind of our leader, and Jeff, as you said, he was kind of one of the big leaders of the American Fire Service. And what we all gained from FDIC was, I think, his energy. So many people said they go to FDIC and get energized, and I think a lot of that energy originally came from him and his passion. And yeah, he'll be missed, boy. Big pair of shoes to fill right there.
Yeah. Chad, you knew him.
Yes, sir. I still think about it, and I'm one of those people that can't believe he's gone, because, a lot of y'all do know that I work with Sons of the Flag, and he was one of our first supporters. And, over the last 10 years, I've gotten to talk to him several times. Hell, I even jumped out of an airplane with him. And, it didn't matter how crazy of an idea I came up with. Hey, Chief, I've got an idea. Sometimes I say that to y'all, and it's like the 5 worst words you'll ever hear. Hey, I got an idea. And, he was always just positive and just supported any idea I had. And, a mentor like that, or somebody that just gives you energy. And, I always say, try to surround yourself with people that are better than you, and be the underachiever in the room. And with him, it was always easy to be that, because, I don't think I never saw him meet to not know somebody. He was a friend to everybody, and it just always made you feel good about yourself. So he will be missed.
I think you guys rounded that out real nice. Our condolences to the Halton family and everybody in the fire service that he had touched. So let's continue his tradition. Let's talk about training. Let's get into what we did this last year, and some of the people we met. some of the departments we may have influenced and some of the takeaways that our students have had over the last year or so in 2022, which was the comeback year, right? The comeback year from the COVID stuff. And we got started earlier this year. Jeff, you want to get us started where we were early in the year?
Well, yeah, first of all, let me go back to 2021 when we had the FDIC in what, August of 2021?
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
to get back to the regular month when FDIC has always occurred, which is about April of each year, you know, we had, gosh, I think it was 8 months. And I remember talking with the people of fire engineering, and everyone would say, hey, you got to get your proposals in now. You got to get them in because we're going to have the proposals reviewed at the end of this year and going into the next year to make the decisions on what classes and what was going to happen out there and so forth. So we did 2021 in August, and then we came back and did our hands-on in April. And so it was a good time. I got to say, you know, yeah, we had a very good class again. We had the facilities over there at Wayne Township, and we were able to put together our fundamentals and principles class. You know, we had a great number of people. We had people as far as California come in. We had people from there. No, I'm sorry. I have to correct myself on that one. We had this gentleman, a firefighter from Japan, Iwakuna, Japan. I think it was his fire department.
Yeah, that's right.
And that poor kid, when you come to our class, you're going to get a full day. And that was one of the things, you know, when Bobby and I were talking about the class, and he was thinking, can you do it in 4 hours? This does not really do ourselves justice. So he gave us the green light to have an 8-hour class. So getting back to this young man who flew and traveled 30 hours to make it to Indianapolis, and we were one of the classes that he selected. I told him how honored I was to have him in our class and so forth. And it was the poor kid. He was taking a beating. You know, he was on jet lag because he was looking like he was pretty haggard there in the middle of the afternoon. And I says, how are you feeling? You want to take a break? What is it? So forth. And of course, with his, you know, native dialect and tongue, you know, jet lag. So, but anyways, in our class, it was, you know, again, a successful class. You know, we started the students out with what we call the show and flow. That is where we work with the different size hose lines and so forth. And then we moved forward to group work there, and we broke that down and so forth. And with the size of the class and the different stations, everyone got to do a lot of work, and they flowed as we've tried to figure out to tell our students the work that they had done. They worked, I don't know, several thousand feet of hose lines advancing and things like that over the course of the day. But the other thing was, we figured these guys were flowing 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 gallons of water per person, because we were working with all the different size hose lines, or working with the master stream appliance. And, you know, with those nozzles, they were flowing, you know, throughout the day and so forth. So it was a great time. And again, we had 2 classes, you know, same class for Monday and Tuesday, you know, different students each day. But it was very successful, I gotta say. You know, you know, you guys, for me, I may be the guy whose name is on it, but you're the guys who are taking each one of your individual stations and making it successful. It's great. So all you guys, thank you. So, Chair, you want to throw something in there, or Jeff?
I'm good.
Did you
A
hear?
little research,
Yeah.
a little research while you were talking there, Jeff.
Oh, okay, okay.
I would add that FDIC, for me over the years has been a great experience, both as a young firefighter, a student, as a seasoned firefighter, as a student, and then being able to have the opportunity to come in and share the information and skill set that's been handed to me. It is a special place when you can get people coming in from out of the country, much less out of the state, to join in, and so it's a great opportunity. It's a great place. Every firefighter should do it at least once, I would think.
Well, once a year.
Yeah, once a year if you can make it. But yeah, it's a special Wayne Township fire ground. It's a kind of a special place when you're walking around and you got you got Shupe here and you got Bobby Morris over there, and some of the other people that you're pretty
Jerry
name
Knapp,
recognition, on the fire ground, training people, and it's a wonderful place to be. It's a great place to be around.
I was so shocked at one of my first FDICs, the way guys like, Jeff and these fire service guys treat everybody. You're just an equal to those guys, I mean, you're not in terms of skill and knowledge and whatever else, but
Don't cut yourself short, Mr. Knapp. You are
but
right there too.
they treat you, they treat you like a brother fireman, and there's no, oh, you belong to a small department, so you're a piece of crap. And it's just great. It's unbelievable. It really is.
Do you want me to pop these pictures up now? Talk about them while we go?
Sure, yeah, good idea.
Yeah, for those of you that are listening and not watching, we're gonna scroll a few images here from different training venues throughout the year. Just kind of talk about our class a little bit and some of the give and take we got from our participants.
Okay, you want me to run with it?
Hang on just a second.
Okay.
There we go.
There's our fellow from Japan right there in the lower left.
Yes, Iowa
Oh,
Cody,
yeah.
that's him. Yeah, right there. We had, I think, a couple of other guys too from foreign countries. Didn't we have somebody from Poland there?
I think he was an American, but he was stationed out of Italy. I think he was an Air
That's what it
Force.
was. Yep.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Vincenzo, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, the guy in the front right there, with the number 6, it is right there. Yeah, you got him with the California style helmet. Yeah, he's from Santa Monica. Yeah, I remember him. And again, we've had a couple of other people who were repeat offenders come back to the scene of the crime, from before. So that was great to see those guys too. Anyways, this was the start of the morning right here. And this is where we're going over things like what we talked about, the different size hose lines, the kinds of nozzles, the pressures that are expected, and have had the engine that was supplying these hose lines hooked up with flow meter devices. So we could show the students what pressure it took for that engine to develop that flow through a particular size hose line. And that's what's critical. We've heard it say that in the past, you pump for comfort or you pump for pressure or things like that. Back at a time when you probably had 100 PSI nozzles. Well, here we are, dealing with low pressure nozzles, which is solid bore, but there's also 50 PSI fog nozzles out there also. And also one manufacturer out there makes a 75 PSI fog nozzle if a fire department wants to specify that type of operation. So anyways, this is where it all began. The neatest thing about here, you notice that little bit of grayness there. It got better as the morning went on. That's what I love. Joe Alvarez was running his, I think, search and rescue class or something like that, and they were doing the live fire. So it had just started to rain a little bit, and all the smoke coming from that place came right down the alleyway here and set on us. And I thought it was just great, man. All the smell of smoke and everything else that went along with it, and it was just a lot of fun being out there. And again, these guys were great students, and it's all that stuff that comes together to make a great class. So remember, when you come to a class like this, you put yourself there because you want to be there. And that's the one thing about being an instructor. Show these students the respect and have a great time with them, have a good time. So, in the
Yeah,
back,
let's-
I'm
There we
sorry.
go.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, can you bump your mic up a little bit? Looks like you might have tapped it down. There you go.
How's that? How am I now? Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that's one of our guys who's not with us tonight on the air. That's Micah Hydeman right there. Now he's from Kansas City. He's with one of those students who came back to us. Jim, what's his last name?
I couldn't say it if I had to.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, they're working right there with the 1 3/4 lines right there. And nozzle mechanics is what it's all about. If you, 3 things it takes to put an attack line in service and to be successful with it. And that is have the proper pump pressure. Don't over pump it. Don't under pump it. Solid bore nozzle. If it's a 50 PSI nozzle, leave it at that. Then the second thing is nozzle mechanics. The person who's on the nozzle, if they've got good nozzle mechanics and they know how to flow it and get the full effect out of it with full open bore and knock that fire down and where to place that stream, that's 2 parts right there. And the third thing is hose line management. And we always try to tell people, if you can keep that hose line straight behind the nozzle for 5 to 10 feet, then you're going to be successful, especially when you're going to work it down to a hallway, work it down the stairs or upstairs or something like that. You got to make a 180. And if you got to do something like that, bail it down. Bail it down, or if you have to shut it off to move up a little bit, then by all means do so. So those are the 3 things for a successful attack hose line: proper nozzle pressure, nozzle mechanics, and then hose line management. Okay. So that's where we start off with right here. Okay. All right. There we go. I think right there, we're dealing with the 2.5.
Wow, we
Okay.
get people of all ages in our group, huh? Oh, sorry, that's you. Sorry.
Well, you're talking about the gray hair and the gray mustache? I know.
Who noticed? Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, doesn't matter what size hose line you have, whether it's 1 3/4, 2 inch, or 2.5. Nozzle mechanics are the same. And in this case, if it's a solid bore nozzle on a 2.5, it's a 50 PSI, just like with 1 3/4 or even 2 inch if you're running a solid bore on that also. So it's just that simple stuff. And again, pump to the right pressure. And then behind me is Mr. Diederich himself, providing support, using the tank to tank method to support me while I'm operating the nozzle. So there we go. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So
I think we're getting ready to break off into groups here.
yeah, this is a little chit chat session. And that's what we're going to be doing right after we get done with all 3 size hose lines. And then we go through and we show the rapid attack monitor. Then this is what we do. We have our little breakdown and go into things. This is one of those things right there: door control. Door control is a huge issue, and I mean that, and I mean that from experience also, because I remember in the past conducting in one case a very large training training event, and we had a whole bunch of guys and a whole bunch of different fire departments involved. As we got this one room going real good, and it was in a big structure, and the guys were at the door, and the one gentleman, he was going to bash that door off the hinges, and without understanding the fire, how much you have on the other side of that door, if your hose line ready, this is the whole thing about door control. It's a disciplined approach. So you've got that barrier right there that you're going to control between where you're at and where the fire's at. So that's what we start off with right away. We want everyone to understand door control and its importance, so forth. So there they go.
And even though we're doing this with a RAM or the monitor, that's 500 gallons. It works with the 1 3/4, 2 inch, or 2.5.
Yeah, it depends on the situation you got. Are you in an apartment building? Are you in a store? Are you in an office building? Or are you in a warehouse? Whatever. Okay.
It really works with 500 gallons.
Well, it works out. Yeah, 500 gallon minute plus 300 with a 2.5, right with it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There's a rapid attack monitor right there. And a very, very good piece of firefighting equipment. I think it's given the American firefighter a lot of capability, because when you're throwing, 350, 400, 450 gallons a minute, and you can maneuver that nozzle around, not like the old master stream devices where you could only have so much sway side to side and you couldn't, use it to break apart ceilings or, penetrate deep into a fire. This thing now allows you to do that. And we've decided, we've always made that since it came out a part of our presentation. So, yeah.
There's a lot of talk about big fire, big water, and especially with low manpower these days, stretching that ram, putting it in place. You got 500 GPMs on the fire with a good long reach. You go to a church fire or some large warehouse fire where you need that reach of penetration. One guy can do that, which is, like you said, Jeff, with the old ones, you just could not.
No.
And being so mobile, you can set up and use that attack angle, whether you need it close to horizontal or, at that really tight 45 degree, you can set it straight up from that sidewalk and right through a second or third floor and really make a difference. Where the deck gun is, it's 18 feet from the building, it's in the middle of the street, and it's 9 feet up. So that little gem there really is a difference maker for sure.
I tell you what we've done, and I don't know, I think we have it later on in the presentation. We're going to talk about the standpipe training we did.
We can.
Do we have
I don't think I have any pictures of it.
okay. A lot of people, because we're a group that believes that the 2-inch is a great standpipe line. It's got great firepower. Hell, you're flowing between 240 and 260 gallons a minute. You can. And someone says, well, that's kind of not like a 2.5. And you're right. It's not a 2.5. Nothing's going to replace the 2.5. Okay. So what we did when we were doing that standpipe class earlier last year, we had that thing up there. And I want to use that. I want people to understand that that's your option. For example, if somebody says, "Oh, the 2-inch isn't good for office building fires," no, you're right. That's where this comes in, because there you have your 2.5-inch line supplying that device. And again, the mobility and control of this device right here far exceeds what anybody on a 2.5-inch line with a nozzle can do. Once you get into play or into position, you just play away, and you can dial up that pressure, and that thing's not going to walk on you, and that's a beautiful thing. So again, that's one way of looking at it, and I'm glad that we've made this a part of our arsenal when we go out. So,
and there's a class from Wayne Township, one of the days.
yeah, yep. So,
All right, I think that wraps up Indy. You ready to move on?
sure.
Yeah, what do we got next?
Jerry's I'm gonna have to stop sharing South Dakota.
Yeah.
We were in South Dakota in June for their state. Let's see, I'll bring my
I'll stop sharing mine.
okay.
Oops.
So there we are. So we were in the capital of South Dakota, Pierre, and actually we're in Fort Pierre, which is just across the Missouri River. And I just want to say that the guys and gals from the Fort Pierre Fire Department did a great job supporting us. What do we pump, Jeff, for 2 days out of the Missouri River there?
Yeah, operated that draft.
Yeah. So that was good. And there's a little T-shaped wood structure there. Was our training
hallway.
tower.
Yep.
What was it? What do you call it? A hallway to
Hallway
hell?
of horrors. Hallway up from hell.
So
Shupe's hallway of hell, I guess.
there you go. And it worked out good. Guys got to take lines in there and really operate them like they would at a real structure fire. Couple of fellows that really helped us out there. Charlie Cludut, who's the president of the South Dakota Firemen's Association. this is one of their annual conferences. Guys and gals come from all across the great state of South Dakota. And it was fun to have them there. Ron Hines, the vice president of that group, was also a big help to us, and Denny Gordon, their secretary treasurer. He's the one that these 3 or 4 guys. There was also a fellow, I can't remember his name, from the Fort Pierre Fire Department that really helped us out building this thing.
Yeah.
Just great work and great people out there, and did our standard shell for them and flowed a lot of water and got a lot of nozzle time for everybody, and had a little fun in the process. So
Yeah. Hey, just for those out there in the audience, that's the Missouri River. Okay. So as Jerry said, we operated that draft in the Missouri River for 2 days, and it was the coolest thing, Well, right behind us there in the upper left corner where you see that launching ramp, here we are. It's a hot day, and I mean it was hot. That little white trailer over in the right side of the screen had air conditioning in there, and there was a tent
That's
set
right.
up eventually, so it was pretty cool. But to see these people coming and dropping their boats into the river or their jet skis, it was like, hey, take us with you.
Kind of had us
Ready to
rethinking
jump
our
in
life choices at that moment.
What's that? Yeah, right. But yeah, it was a great time out there with those people. That was their annual state conference.
Yeah, it's their state conference. They're in the capital. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice people. Most of them are the suburban and rural type people. If you look at the top of the screen, you can see the silos there, and there's a stockyard over there, and a railroad spur comes in. But a great part of the country, great people, and they're into it. They're into it.
It was really cool. It was really cool for me because, I'm a city boy. I couldn't have told you how to. I mean, I know how to draft. I learned it in the academy. I never drafted to save my life.
Oh.
I mean, it's not something we do here.
Mhm.
So I couldn't believe that we were able to support the amount of water that we used over those 2 days. I mean, we obviously have plenty of water there.
Well, we did have an air leak, and it just exemplified, the importance of making sure your fittings are tight. And I mean, we were trying everything to figure out what's wrong with this engine, but it was a good engine, a strong pump, and it was that air leak, and the suction that one day, that prevented it. Now that's just everything they tell you. If you got the air leaks, you're not going to get any suction or vacuum.
Wasn't that what caused the pulsing hoses?
You might have been. I don't recall that, but
I think that's one of the neat things I really like about this is that that was a real problem. I mean, we all know how to draft, we know the theory and everything, but now we're doing it, and we had a problem, and it wasn't a training problem. It was a real problem. It was like, holy cow, let's figure it out. So, Jeff figured it out and kept trying things till we got the draft going properly. And so we learned some stuff, we practiced some stuff. The guys and gals watching got to, learn stuff just because you had to do it, So it was really cool.
A good point to be made is that you may be from a fire department that has a municipal water system. However, depending on where your fire is and what your surrounding communities are like, you might have to have a fire supplied by both the municipal water system, tankers, and maybe drafting operations, just like you see here. So, Jeff, were you guys or are you guys required to operate your engines at draft every year?
It's part of the annual pump test, but we don't carry the hard suction on the engines.
Yeah, right. That's the way it is now. You're not required, but you have to have them available. I think the standard calls for. So,
Yeah, they're hanging in the station.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a great time. So, and it was cool. They had in the background there is their little downtown area where they had a whole bunch of old buildings and things like that, So
Really good ice cream in South Dakota.
Don't forget about the steaks. Don't forget about the steaks at Dirty Mary's. All right, I'll turn my share off here.
I think Micah joined us.
Well.
All right.
Hello, Micah.
Hey.
Hey, welcome. Micah, we're just doing a year in review. We covered FDIC and end of 21, and then we were just finishing up talking about our engagement out in South Dakota.
There's all the guys from South Dakota. Have to take this moment to thank Snap Tight for giving us the air conditioning. I think here we are, Bellevue. So that has to be we're in Olympia now.
Olympia, Washington, right? That's our second time being out there. And right there, standing next to the gentleman from Bellevue who's got the nozzle in his hands is one of our guys, and that's Martin Rainey right there. And hey, Martin, happy holidays and so forth. And again, one of our guys who's been with us to FDIC a couple of times and so forth. So, but yeah, this was another great time with these guys out there. With another full class opportunity and so forth. And our hats off to the Olympia Fire Department. They got a great training center. Boy, they got a couple of beautiful buildings that we have used and used well, and flowed thousands of gallons of water throughout them. In our couple of times there. And right there's the master stream appliance once again being demonstrated. So.
There's what it looks like inside our building.
Yeah, really. So that's the beautiful thing about a device like that. Again, we made the point, and we certainly sold it. Whether it's a big fire in a residential wood frame, or you have a commercial structure and it requires big gallons per minute, you got yourself a great device there, but it's mobile too. You got 103 pounds of water weight and a 50-foot length of 2.5, right? So you got a device that, is really good at allowing you to maneuver that stream around. And like we said before, break the ceiling apart or deliver the water in with impacting force. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So the guy's got like I say, a whole day of that stuff. So.
They're going upstairs.
Working the stairwell.
Yeah, working that 2.5.
Yep. And see, that's the thing, about the 2.5, getting it in position. And we always tell people, use what the building gives you. If you have like an upstairs fire and it is just roaring up there, like in a commercial structure, it's okay. You got an open stairwell, open stair shaft, whatever the case may be. And you need to deliver big water, but you need to have it penetrate in there. Put this line in position, put a knee on it, pin it against the stringer where the stairs meet the wall in this case, and just play away. Man, let it blast away and so forth. When it comes time to move it up, shut it down and then move it up a few steps to the next best location. Repeat the process. Okay. So, but these guys did great, yeah, this is where you come up and you do a 180. So it's challenging. And if you ever have to work a line like that, again, we believe that if you got to shut it down to do it, do it. Yeah, we don't want that line to be flowing and knock you down and cause damage or injury to you and so forth like that and so forth. Just, but whatever the case may be. But
it's pictures like this where you earned the nickname Hurricane Shupe.
Yeah. Just a little bit of water dripping down from above.
Yeah. There it is. There's the ram again.
Yeah. Yeah. That was right there. I think that during the scenario. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. When we get into the scenarios, and that's where if we get 30, 35 people in a class, we're going to have a bunch of 3-member engine companies doing a job, whether they're stretching the initial line, getting a deck on an operation, whether they're stretching second line, third line, whatever, or operating off a standpipe, whatever. We like to have the scenarios where we employ as many people as we can, even if we got to send a crew in to relieve a crew that was early on in the fire. So obviously we don't have the fire. We'd love to have fire, smoke, heat, and all that other stuff. and we don't have SCBAs on. But this is just like getting the fundamentals down when we go into the scenario work, because everything we do in a scenario is what we've worked on during the day. So works out pretty good. So guys are great once again, so.
And there's the Southwest Washington Fools in the class.
Yeah, some of them, one day's worth.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Jeff, you did tactics on tap out there as well, right?
Yes, we did. Or yes, I did. Yeah, that was the last, in fact, that was the last time we were out there.
Mm.
Or the first time we were out there. I'm sorry. Yeah. So worked out real nice.
This picture just seems prettier. We must be in a great state.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's Texas.
Yep, it is. Waco, Jeff.
Hard to tell. Everyone looks very cold in these pictures.
Yeah. Yep, that's why I got all that all their gloves on and so forth. Yeah. Didn't they just have a storm go through there the day or two before? But
Yeah.
look at the skies. Yes, there is something about deep in the heart of Texas and the blue skies and whatever. But
I think one of the guys in that group was complaining about how cold it was. I can't remember.
Yeah.
has no idea what cold is, obviously.
So interesting thing about Waco, Texas. I wouldn't say interesting, but I guess good for us was that they haven't had much exposure to other training companies coming in from the outside. They're very traditional, long-standing department with a lot of history. Obviously, they're getting the job done, and it was quite a privilege to be invited in to kind of show our wares there for a little while and give them something to think about versus what they already do.
Yeah.
I think we were the first outside cadre to come in. And most of them had never seen smooth bores.
That's right. That's
We
right.
did have quite a few sidebar conversations about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they also never worked with flat loads or static beds before either.
No, they didn't.
Am I correct about that?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that once again, that's part of the scenario where everything we do during the day is employed in the scenario, and these guys got to see it fall in place. In fact, one of the I think he was a captain. In fact, might be the gentleman behind the nozzle right now.
That one?
And I think so. I think it was him. Was saying at the end of the scenario with the critique that, when you slow things down, because what we do, we slow it down to a snail's pace, and it's not really a snail's pace. We expect that first engine to do its job and hustle while doing it. When they're done, then we give the second engine a job, and then we expect them to hustle and get it done while everybody is watching. And all I got to do is say, give me my third engine, or give me my fourth engine, give me my fifth engine, or whatever. And I want 3 people to be an engine crew to come over, and I'm going to give you a job. And he picked up on that right away about, how you can be at a major fire. And of course, everything's chaotic at a major fire, right? And if you don't have any strong leadership or anybody taking the bull by the horns, then people will self-assign. They'll start pulling hose lines. They will never talk to the pump operator, even though he might be, 5 pounds away from vacuum or something like that. No, you slow things down. That's the time you want to do it, because that increases your accountability and your safety. And of course, addresses company concept when you have your company crews working together. So, and of course, we try to throw in the strategic part of it. And the strategy is to locate, confine, extinguish. So like in this case, they've got a great tower there in Waco that we had once again, a great time with. And we said, here's our fire. It's roaring 3 stories on arrival. And we just go in and hit it with overwhelming force, and then we surround it with hose lines being stretched to different parts of the building and so forth. And like I said, that captain, it impressed me when he said that. You could see just everything falling into place. So. Great group.
Yes.
All right,
The one
there
in
we
the
go.
tower. We hit this tower with such overwhelming force. They moved John and I to a Connex box because we hit it with too much force.
Yeah.
Yeah, that metal's not nearly as thick as it looks.
Especially after that day.
No. Now the Connex box survived very well.
Yeah.
With a lot of water in it.
There was a lot of water in there.
That is the cleanest that flashover chamber has ever been.
Okay.
All right, boss, I think we got one of your hose load. Look at that.
Yeah, right there. In fact, no, you got a couple of them right there.
Mm-hmm.
One with the 1.75 inch, one with the 2 inch. Yeah. Is that 2.5 to green?
Yeah.
Green
Okay.
2.5.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, once again, a super group, and had a great time with them. And well, hopefully we see these guys again in the future.
Jeff, I think showing those guys the flat loads there that many of them have never seen, a lot of guys use these complicated double, triple folds with a elbow in the middle, the simple always works,
Yeah, it
during,
does.
during 2 o'clock in the morning when the smoke is in the sky and people are screaming at you, and the flat load always works. And it's not for everybody, you don't have to use every load like that, but
Yeah, right.
we show guys, hey, here's an option for you. And a lot of times they'll switch to it, just not because we said so, but because we showed them, they tried it, they worked with it. They said, hey, try it, you'll like it, so.
Let's go back to our FDIC classes that we've done in the past with this guy, Mr. Hydeman. Yeah, when we break off into our specialty groups, he's got hose stretching. And like someone said, it may not be the most exciting part of the training. You're not throwing any water, but you're getting the idea of how to stretch. And he's got him stretching, what, 250-foot lines with 2.5, Micah, or something like that.
Yeah, it's by the end of the day, it's damn near
But
half a mile of hose.
But it pays off because, Jerry, as you're bringing up, so here we are in a scenario, and if you give the guys an order, okay, I need your 2.5, and I need you make it 4 lengths and get it up to the second floor or the third floor or whatever via the outside fire escape or whatever, and these guys see it and how easy it falls into place for them.
Yeah, I think Micah's station really sets the stage for success at the rest of them, especially when we do the scenarios, because now they know how to do it. We let them practice, we get them to practice under pretty realistic conditions. And, Micah's taught them, a way to do it, and they've practiced it there. And then you say, hey, go do it. They do. And it's, and the guys, it comes quick. That talent, that skill comes pretty quick.
Oh, sure. It does, no running. Again, Bobby Pressler, you've heard me say before, when him and I were doing the senior man show, we'd always tell people, walk with a sense of purpose. You start running with hose and so forth, somebody's going to trip and break their nose, and, then nothing gets done, or it turns chaotic. So.
Yeah, the students are pretty impressed with the objectives being simple, the teamwork, the communication, and the dexterity working together. And then by the end of the scenario, I said, guys, look, you guys and gals, you just stretched 600 feet of hose with only 3 people on each hose line in less than 3 minutes. And you went around all these, and we throw in a minimal 3 turns, not simple turns. We treat them like street life experience with cars, fences, trees, down the alleyways. And by the end of the scenario, they're shocked. And then we reload it and we do the evolution again. And by the end of the day, I kid you not, I was like, guys, scouts, you just stretched half a mile worth of hose and reloaded it. So pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You know what else I figured out about Micah's group? You say it might not be the most exciting. It is definitely the driest.
I do tell them, No, I do warn them, this is not a sexy evolution.
Yes, but you know, here I was going, man, Micah can have it, but he has dry gear all day.
Up until the scenarios.
Chatty, are you wet during these evolutions?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted.
Like a couple of drowned river rats, you guys are. Hey, another guy is Diederich.
Yeah, I always marvel at Jeff. He's like an expert at coaching these guys on nozzle and backup man techniques, and like again, that sets the stage for the scenarios and the success and the skill that the guys lead with.
Thanks, Jared. That's pretty kind of you. I think we all have a good knack for all of it, and I think you and Shupe have been able to kind of put each of us where we excel, where we kind of naturally like to talk about, and I think it shows. You know, like we go deep into each one of our own drills, and there's just enough time for the students to ask a few questions, but there's usually not too many, because at that point they're really starting to dig in and take in our philosophy, and then they're also seeing that it really is simple. It really is about just putting your body in the right spot for the body mechanics to work, and then understanding, you know, estimating a stretch is easy if you know how deep your hose bed is, and it's easy to move a master stream if you understand where the nozzle reaction is going to go, and it's easier to get that standpipe system going if you understand what that outlet pressure means to the nozzle pressure with the hose you got. So I think I don't know if we are conscious of how much of it we're throwing at them, but yeah, I think by the end of the day, a lot of these students are appreciative and taking it away. So it's been great.
So,
You know, the thing I like about it, Jeff, is it is an incredible amount of information, especially if you've never dealt with smooth bores, low pressure. But one of the biggest joys of it for me is seeing how far someone who's not comfortable with a hose at all in the morning, and then seeing them at 5 o'clock when we're done, how much better they have become in 8 hours. You know, as boss always says, it doesn't take a lot to be good. And, you know, you just have to put effort in. And man, some of these kids, you know, where I'd look at them and say, I don't know if we're going to make it all day. And they're a hose ninja by the end of the day.
That's true. Yeah. Because confidence breeds more energy into the class as you go. Well, I think we're probably close to an hour, a little bit, maybe a little bit more, guys. Jeff, you got?
no, but keep going. We got a couple more, don't we?
She was like, we're only an hour in. All right. That's
We got 3
halfway
hours
done.
left.
That's only one bottle.
He thinks
He's
he's Joe Rogan.
He's just getting warmed up now.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. What else? Do we have any other photos that we can put up there and discuss?
Oh, I don't want to get.
I have some photos, but I don't think it's
Appropriate?
well, you said it. I did.
They're not appropriate. I've seen them.
No. And I don't want to
Okay.
open my photo bank because of what y'all sent me.
Okay.
Yeah, let's stay away from the B-roll.
Okay.
But it's good times, and the highlights are there's always smiles. There's a lot of smiles that go around.
Yeah.
You know,
The classes are wet, but the humor is dry. I think that,
Oh.
you know,
oh.
Wow, you were waiting for that one.
Ba-doop.
Yeah, that was like in Waco when he said, "That's it, folks. That's all. That's the jokes. You either laugh or you don't. That's all you're going to
Yeah.
get."
these are the jokes, man. I mean,
It's been that way for years.
We can get Shupe some new jokes.
Oh yeah. Oh God. I didn't realize you guys were shooting at me right there.
Yeah, it was right at you.
Yeah.
that's why we bring you along, Jeff.
I'm so glad you do. I don't know what I'd be like if I wasn't with you.
Perfect.
By the way,
All
the
right,
guy,
well,
for those of you
yeah.
out there, the guy's got me a bag to tote my gear around for Christmas. I appreciate that. I wanted the public to know now I don't look like a homeless guy, dragging a tattered red bag, through an airport.
It's a red garbage bag. I mean, it looked really bad.
It was bad.
Hey,
was really-
it's got a lot of time in the business.
But,
It was really a waste, so I didn't get stuck carrying your bag around.
it's embarrassing carrying that thing. So now we can roll it.
As the youngest guy, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get stuck carrying this bag everywhere we go.
So if things are really bad, Jeff, it's got wheels on it. You can sit on it. We'll drag you around the airport.
Man, I don't know. I'm just impressed. Thank you guys once again. I was well, for everybody out there, I was my wife and I were down in Tennessee at our one daughter's house for Christmas. Come home and there's this box on the back steps, and son of a gun, what is this? Didn't blow up, so I took it out the garage and opened it up, and there it is. Hey.
You didn't call it your local fire department to come check it out?
No, didn't do that.
Some suspicious bag or box.
There's a large suspicious box on my porch.
And I bet if Jerry had anything to do with it, if you take up hockey, you can carry your hockey gear in that too.
Yeah.
It was near it for a while. Hockey hasn't been going good. I think I almost broke my ankle yesterday, so I got a meeting with the orthopod tomorrow. So
Really?
yeah, it's not good. Takes me a long time to go up and down the stairs now.
Oh no.
So I'm hoping it's just a sprain, but
Yeah.
whatever. It is what it is.
Well, heal up, sir.
Okay,
Yeah, we're
so
gonna do this year.
outside of those places, are there any other places stand out that we were at last year?
Looking forward to next year. Looks like we're
Yeah.
late on to go to Old Forge, New York for the drill school up there, which is again
Yeah.
a lot of nice people, and we'll have some fun flowing water. There's a big lake we can try to drain up there.
Oh,
Shupe,
bring it on.
only place that I didn't put the picture in it. You did Andy Frederick's days too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
In Kansas
that-
City.
right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did. Actually, we did do a lot of stuff, last year, and so forth. Micah was with me at Andy Frederick's, and that was a great time as always.
Yeah,
Where are the pictures, Micah?
actually
Yeah.
they're on their Facebook. They're actually appropriate, but
Okay.
Yeah.
they put on a first class venue. That's for darn sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what can you say? So.
Yeah. Keep Andy's name going.
Yep.
Well, let's round it out for the night here, guys. Hope to see everybody soon out on the drill ground. And need to reach out to Strategic Fire Training. You can shoot us an email. You can get us at the website, or you can grab us on Facebook. Jerry, you got any closing thoughts?
No, obviously new year, so let's look forward to doing some great training. And I think Mike has done a great thing in KCK there. He's gotten other folks to come in there from out of the area, so you get a little cross pollination, and I think that's been good for everybody. So maybe folks could think about bringing some people in that aren't from their area, and maybe see a little different view of the world from the fire world.
Yeah.
Isn't
idea.
that, Micah, were we the first guys to go in there from the outside?
Yeah. It was pretty much last year. They're starting something that's very foreign
Yeah.
department, and it's just hard to believe that they would trust a new guy like me to offer some advice.
Once again, a tip of the hat to Chief Shoneman and bringing us in. Again, you get these fire departments that they've always handled things in-house, and now, hey, we're starting to reach beyond our boundaries and hear different things, ideas, voices, and things like that. Again, kudos to you guys for doing that. Hopefully we can come back there too and do more stuff and do some hands-on with you too.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to get in the plans for us. So
That'd be
Okay.
great.
Very good.
John, what do you got cooking this year? John,
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
I said, what do you got cooking this year?
Not much. That's it. Not much.
Thanks for contributing.
He's
Yeah.
looking, yeah.
Help us out.
Ooh,
Okay.
John's been running the Cleveland Fire Academy. I think he's got burned out with all those firefighter 1 classes, but
Trying to get the train back on the track.
Trying. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Captain?
oh shit, that's me, isn't it?
Is it chief or captain?
Yeah.
No, the chief is on the bottom of the page right now.
Yeah. You know what? I'm thankful for everybody that brought us out last year. Looking forward to New York. I love going to places where everybody looks at me and think I talk like Forrest Gump. So I mean, I won't stand out. I won't stand out at all there. That's going to be awesome. If y'all have any questions, please call. I mean, there's a lot of cadres that y'all can use, and we are really appreciative when y'all choose us because, you know, we're biased. We do think we're the best. I mean, it's one of the best classes I've ever been to. I took it and then joined up. So, you know, there's a lot of people you can choose to do your training, and it's always an honor to get to work with your fire departments.
That's as true a statement as you can make. Great. All right, Jeff, last chance to close out the Zoom call here.
You can't leave him as the last one.
No, you guys, you hit it right in the head. So, looking for a very good year out there with hoping to work with a lot of people out there too. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, from everybody at Strategic Fire Training, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I know it was a little bit of a retrospective, nothing really earth-shattering here, but we just wanted to pay homage and honor to Bobby Halton, of course, and the friends and family of the fire service that we experienced over the last year. So we'll see you on the training ground. Everybody stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.